Welcome to the newest feature at Storied, newspaper matches. We are very excited to have this as an option for our users, and we hope that that leads to many great stories and matches with newspaper articles in our collection. So how do you start with newspaper matches? Well, first things first, if you have a Storied account, you need to make sure that you have either uploaded or added a family tree. But what if you don't have a Storied account? If you're a newspaper archive subscriber, you actually do have a Storied account. It is part of your subscription with Newspaper Archive, free access to Storied Ultimate. So what you would do is go to www.storied.com and enter your credentials that you have on Newspaper Archive, so your username and password, and you will have a Storied account as well. So let's get started. How do I add a tree? Well, if you don't have a tree, it's going to prompt you to add a tree. I do have a tree already created, so you'll see my tree. But what you would get as a new user to Storied is start a tree. And start a tree, again, there are a couple of different ways that you can start your tree. The first way that you can do that is just by manually entering the information, which a lot of our users do, and just start typing in names and dates and locations. So that's one way you can do it. The other way that you can do that is to upload a family tree file. And you'll see that that's kind of blue hyperlinked here, and it's called a GEDCOM. If you have a family tree on another family history site, it's likely you'll be able to download a GEDCOM file from that site and upload it to Storied, and you'll have all of your information included. Now, this is critical because Storied and Newspaper Archive are going to look at all of the ancestors and relatives that are in your family tree, and it's going to start looking for dates and names and locations to start building those newspaper matches. So having a tree is vital to getting newspaper matches. So where do I go from here? On my homepage, I'm going to notice that over on the right-hand side, I have hints, but then the new piece is here in the middle. It's newspaper matches. So you can see that I've got several of my ancestors have newspaper matches, and it gives their name, and these are linked. So I could click on those to go straight to their newspaper matches, and it tells me how many newspaper matches they have. So that's one way that you can see newspaper matches, but this isn't all of my newspaper matches. These are just the three most recent newspaper matches that I have. So another way to do that is to go to my family trees. And I think this step is really important, and I don't want you to miss out on possible newspaper matches. So a way to get to newspaper matches is individually looking at your people. So let's say, for instance, that I want to look, and he was one of them that was on my homepage. If I click on his name here, I get kind of it's like a card profile is going to pop up about this individual. And it's just going to be quick, easy information about that person. And you can see I can view his profile. I see he has one hint, but then at the bottom, it tells me that he has 179 newspaper matches. So that's another way I can get to the newspaper matches about this individual. And if I click on these different cards of these people, you can see that they have different amounts. This one has 778 matches. So I can come down through here. Here's one I can see. He doesn't have any newspaper matches because there's nothing listed here. This one, just because they don't have, so the blue and white light bulb icon is for hints, not newspaper matches. So just because they don't have a hint doesn't mean they don't have newspaper matches. So be aware of that. So this one here, William Lee Byrd, if I click on him, you can see he actually does have 309 newspaper matches. So that is one way to get to the matches for an individual person. Click on their name and look at the bottom of their kind of profile card to see if they have any matches, and you can click there to enter it. Another way to get to their matches is if you click on this person and then go to their view profile. On their view profile page, they've got different tabs up here at the top. One of them is hints. The hints tab is where you're going to find the newspaper matches. So if I click on that and I scroll below my hints, I'm going to see newspaper matches, and they are sorted by location and by dates. So this particular ancestor, it's just showing newspapers from this one location. If you have someone that lived in multiple locations, they would be split up in that way potentially for your newspaper matches. Now, again, to review those matches, I can click on review 778 matches, and the results are going to pop up. I see a thumbnail, I see the name of the newspaper, the date, and the location, and then a little blurb about that particular newspaper piece. So if I click on that, then that is going to bring up that newspaper page, and it's going to highlight those instances where it thinks my ancestor is listed. And so this one, 100% is one of my ancestors. And so I could use that as a newspaper match. Now, newspaper matches are a great way to add more information just to your family tree and learn more about them. The thing about newspaper matches that I'm finding out with the Storied team, we're talking how we are finding newspaper matches of newspaper articles that we've never seen before with our ancestors. So it's a very exciting new feature that we have that you can explore. And again, if you're a newspaper archive subscriber, just go to storied.com and log in with your newspaper archive credentials, and you will have access to Storied, upload or add your tree, and your newspaper matches are just one click away.